All right, guys. I thought of something that I'm going to start doing on a regular. I do this on a regular every day anyway, but it just came to mind earlier. And this was about why is it that the media in Hollywood and most, not all books and magazines, but why is it that the mainstream media, television and movies, always focus on black stereotypes? When I say black stereotypes, I'm talking about the pimps, the pushers, the thugs, the drug dealers, the drug users, the alcoholics, the abusive husbands. You know what I'm getting at. Every freaking negative stereotype about black men in America throughout our history. But I noticed in the last maybe 15, 20 years, they don't focus, well, really prior to that, they really try not to focus a lot of attention on the modern black man. Let me explain a little bit more what I'm talking about. This is DJ Wolf Live. All right, guys. When I'm talking about the modern black man, the modern man or black man, but the modern black man is a lot more different in terms of the opposite the stereotypes. We're just like everybody else, okay? You dress normal. You don't go out there with your pants hanging out off your ass, walking around, walk like you trying to pimp walk or whatever you do. And, you're a little bit more, you're a lot more respectable in terms of the way you carry yourself, the way you wear your hair and all that. The way you talk to people, man. And I know some people are like, that's talking white. No, we ain't talking about talking. We just talking about talking like your normal self. There are a lot of black men who talk with intelligence that talk black. Believe me. See, the problem is we've been stereotyped for so long that people buy into the fucking hype. That's the problem, okay? And it doesn't help when you have guys like Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels showing a lot of the narrative stereotypes in movies and television. They've been doing it for years, And the modern black male is nothing like a lot of what they show on TV and films and news. Because the media tries to control the narrative of what you see in television and films. So when you see black people in real life, because there are a number of white people who have never been around black people, or they've been around black people, guess what they do? They go along with the stereotypes. So it can have you thinking, oh, that's how all black people are. Particularly males. But I ain't talking about all black, I'm talking about males. Black males. They continually stereotype us no matter what field of work we're in. And for the most part, it's deliberate. Look at Obama, for example. Now, don't get me wrong. I respected Obama as president. I respected him as a fellow black man. I respected what he did as a black man for himself. I respected that. Was he a great president? Hell no. Could he have been a great president? Yes. He could have been one of the greatest presidents that ever lived if he had did what he should have done the 2 terms he was in office. But even him, a Rhodes Scholar, who was a Harvard Rhodes Scholar, if I ain't mistaken, Harvard Rhodes Scholar who taught law there, okay? He taught law, okay? He knew his shit. He knows his shit. He's a very intelligent man. He's a very intelligent black man, okay? There's no question about that, all right? And they still didn't respect him. His mother was white, was black, father was black. They still didn't respect him, okay? So, White supremacy honestly wants to control the narrative on everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a totally pro-black person. But when it comes to this, I gotta go pro-black on it. When it comes to white supremacy, they want to control every aspect of our lives, no matter how successful we are or how successful we're not. This is intentional. This is to continue to try to put their foot on our necks. And the media has always played a big, big role on it. They always have. Every aspect of the media at that. You know? Even when it comes down to music. Same thing. Our genres are, look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was one of the most successful music acts of all time. As far as I'm concerned. Prince was one of the most successful acts of music as well. They had a record collection of a bank of music to last a lifetime. And it will continue to last forever and ever and ever. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, they both died of suspicious deaths. Okay? But if you look at what I'm trying to say is, musically, they were the modern black men of music. These guys had kept up with the music genres and music styles for decades. Okay? They were very prolific songwriters. Prince was talented as a mother. Excuse my French. He was as talented as all get out. Michael Jackson was a talented and well-versed songwriter who did it from R&B all the way to pop and back. Prince did everything, and yet guys like Michael Jackson, Prince wanted to own song collections, and every time they got to a point where they could own their own publishing and all of that, they got fucked with. See what I mean? Don't tell me white supremacy is not real. It's very real. Okay? I saw a video. I saw it it was on the Today Show. They had the Tonys. I'm not into the Tonys or anything like that. I just happened to see a little blurb on it on the screen. Now, there's a black guy named Billy. I can't think of his last name. He was if you recall, he was the black guy who was wearing the dress at was it the Oscars or Grammys? One of them. It was Oscars earlier this year. He was wearing a full-out dress. And they was like, oh, it's such a bold fashion statement to go out there and be who he is in his own skin and blah, blah, blah. All right. Now, by the same token, he was at the Tonys, right? Now, James Corden, who's the late night night talk show host on CBS. All right. He's after the other guy. I forgot his name. Anyway, I guess he had read some lyrics or something that he wrote, James Corden wrote, and he gave it to Billy to actually read it out and then sing it. He was singing, actually he was singing. Of course, Billy, was an old gay regalia, whatever he was wearing, because he is full out gay, but that's another story. But anyway, and James was directing him on what to sing and how to sing it. And of course, he went on here and did it in front of a bunch of white people at the Tonys. And I saw that. I said, man, I ain't seen no black people in the audience. Not that I was actually looking, but I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't many in high-priced New York City. But that's another story too. But nevertheless, and I happened to see, it's like, you know what? He's doing this based on what a white guy told him to do. Seriously though. And but white people love that. Whites probably love, they eat that up. Because they figure you're not their equal. And that's the first thing I thought about. And he was dressed like one of those overseer slaves. The costume he had on, that's what it looked like. It really did. I don't know if it was from a play he did or what, but I just happened to notice that. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I thought it was odd. I really did. Here's the thing. We need, and that's before I get to that. I noticed there's not a lot of movies where black men is shown as being very modern black men. There's no actual movie where the lead character is a black man being a modern black man. You know, and like I said again, when I'm talking about a modern black man who dresses like, you know, he has authority on something, like, you know, he's a boss. And I ain't talking about, you know, pimps or anybody like that. No, we talking about a modern black man who has control of his life and his career. He has a great career. And even the ones who, I mean, or just a modern brother who out there doing his thing in the world. No stereotype. You know? And you don't see a lot of that in movies. I definitely don't see a lot of that in television. If you do, you see them as buffoons. But I'm talking like, you know, just maybe a slightly dramatic role, something like that. And you don't see many. You don't. But I'm talking about, you know, where it show brothers in the positive light, not negative light. If they do show any guys like that who are modern, what do they show them doing? Like the movies I've seen Idris Elba in, where he plays a cold-blooded killer. But he's modern. And the women find him attractive. See, those kind of movies. You know, because technically that's a stereotype too, as far as I'm concerned. And it's just weird though, man. You know, that today's so-called modern society still sees us as second-class citizens. They don't see us anything beyond that. Is that camera still down here? Get down here if they turn. Okay. Yeah. And it's a shame, man. Much of hip-hop is like that. Even R&B sections of hip-hop is like that. No, not modern. Stereotypical. You know. It continues to be the same old, you know, crap. The same old, you ain't supposed to be turning left anyway. It's after, it's almost 3 o'clock. All right. Man, she's thick as them thieves. Anyway, but I'm just saying though, you know, it bothers me that a lot of people ride into the hype of it, into the hype of the stereotype. The stereotype is worship. They call, there are other guys like that too, who take themselves, you know, well-groomed, well-conditioned, doing their thing every day, trying to, you know, be successful and do their thing. And you know what they call those guys? Educated lames. That's just a slap in the face on brothers who try to do right, man. How the fuck is, excuse my French, I'm going straight on this. How the fuck is niggas gonna call anybody lame for being educated? But niggas. Yeah, I said it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, man. What y'all doing here? Probably these cars here. Yeah. It's stupid. You gonna refer to your brothers and maybe some sisters as educated lames. They're lame because they're educated. That is the most retarded fucking thing I've ever heard in my damn life. Well, you're a lame because you're an educated lame. Boy, if I ever hear anybody say anything about that again, I'm going in. I'm going on. Educated. Oh my God. Really? You took all day? Jeez, these people, man. Yeah. Educated lanes. And that goes to show you how white people, basically white supremacy, have suckered Negroes into believing that if you black, and you got a good education, you're lame. I'm just saying. How the fuck else are you going to survive out here? Other than hustle, if you ain't educated. Think about that. Let that one stick to your head and let it melt for a while. You know? Oh, you just fat. You looking over here like, oh, okay. Hey, at least I ain't walking. But anyway, you know, yeah, educated lame. You know, you let white people decide that if you educate, you just ain't, you know, you're just lame. Really? So our standard for us being successful is not being educated, but being something other than educated. That makes no sense. And y'all wonder why our communities are being frowned upon, and why y'all let people shit on us all the time. Excuse my French, but that's the way I feel about it, man. For real, it's ridiculous. To me, it's the whole thing with this is fucking ridiculous. And I heard that, I said, man, I didn't think much about it. I really hadn't heard too many people say it, but I've seen them posts and stuff like that. But I bet not ever had nobody come on my channel talking about their education. I'm gonna go in. You know, I think it's offensive for you to even say it about your own people. To be honest, I really do. I think that's very offensive. So anybody in your family, or you know, relatives or non-relatives, who's educated, and you feel because they got something that you ain't got, or strive to get what you never tried to get, they're lame because they're educated. Yeah. You mean somebody who actually went to school, got their degree, and successfully graduated and got a great job. But based on my experiences, guess what? Some of y'all Negroes have to be trying to borrow money from people. Those educated lanes. Which I don't understand. How you going to talk about people, refer to people as educated lanes, and then go out there and try to borrow money from them? When you weren't out there doing what you supposed to be doing, but they did. So stupid, man. Sometimes when I hear about stuff like that, I see how and many times we stereotype ourselves. We stereotype our own culture. We do. And not for the good either. Not necessarily for the good. Well, matter of fact, it ain't for the good. It ain't good at all. And yet y'all come up with this BS. Educated land. I'll be there. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. And y'all fall for banana and tailpipe every time. Every time. It just goes to show you. You know, we're talking about, well, we fight white supremacy. We're really not fighting white supremacy. If anything, we're supporting what they do and what they tell us. Because we fall for the banana and the tailpipe. Every time. Every damn time. And that's a prime example. You know? You know, y'all fight for those guys who get out there and get, you know, who stay in trouble and get in trouble, y'all fight for them all day long. But for the people who really, what is going on with this traffic today, man? Y'all act like we all the only ones got to get home. But when it comes to people who you really need to be supporting, you ain't got nothing to say about it. Really? Man, it's the same damn lane. What an idiot. What a complete idiot. Oh, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to go back the other direction. You didn't know. But, you know, that's what I don't understand. We go ass backwards. We're supposed to be going forward. We keep going backwards. It's like the generations that were going forwards when I was growing up. Now generations coming up are going backwards. Not the entire generation that's coming up, but there's a few of them that are. They go ass backwards on every damn thing. You know? It's ridiculous. It's totally, what is this idiot doing? Some of these people can't drive worth 2 damn cents, man. I swear. They cannot drive at all. Can't drive. Can't pay to drive. They can't drive, period. But y'all want to sit there and criticize your own people, throw your own people on the bus. You know, you got people that are trying to do right in our communities, and it always takes the bad apples to make it worse. That's why so much conflict there. There's so much conflict within families because you got people who are just jealous. You know, lack of support and all this animosity and jealousy. You know, trust me, I know I've dealt with a lot of it over my years, and continue. And the bad part about it, I still continue to do so. Continue to do so to this day. To this day, yeah. To this day, I'm still dealing with it. Still dealing with it. Because you got some monkey-ass people who just do stupid stuff. And won't learn from their mistakes. They just keep on doing it. Doing it over and over again. But then some of the people excuse out, that's all I know. Well, learn a new trick. You know? I hear some of the goofiest answers for some of that stuff, man. Learn a new trick. You know? I was in the military for 3.5 years. All right? I know I'm going to be doing the same thing when I got out, and I didn't. So I had to learn something new. And I kept learning newer stuff until I was able to get to where I needed to be to build myself up. And to survive out here, man. You gotta survive with the times. And don't survive with the times. Sometimes you gotta learn new things. You have to. You know? It's called life. You know? That's how some of us get through it. Some of us ain't willing to do it. Some of us are willing to do the same old stuff from day one and never learn much of anything else because you're too complacent with it. But then you expect other people to bail you out that stuff. And you still ain't trying to learn nothing. You know? You still ain't trying to evolve. You want somebody to do the evolving for you and then you can just take credit for it. I know people like that, man. And you know what? I don't fool with them. I don't fool with them at all. I've been around jealous people. Sometimes jealous people can be a dangerous thing, man. Sometimes I don't deal with it. You know? I've had family members be jealous of me. For what? You know? I'm still to this day not sure why. I'm not sure why. You know? All cut from the same cloth. You know? And blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I'm just saying, though. It's ridiculous. That's why our communities can't go nowhere, because we're too busy trying to sweat the small stuff like we always do. And all this bullshit keep happening on it. Day in, day out. The same dumb shit. The same dumb shit. It never fails. Like I said, we keep falling for the banana and tailpipe all the time, 24/7. We keep falling for it over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm tired of falling for it. I am. I really am. I can't keep fighting a losing battle when people aren't trying to support you on it. You know? That's part of the problem. Can't fight a losing battle when you got people out here in our communities making bad choices. I can't fight a losing battle when you got people in our communities just hate on other people just because they're doing something that you didn't do or even attempted to do. I'm tired of fighting this losing battle. You know? And I'm tired of fighting the losing battle when you just go along with whatever the white media says. And that's because, like I said, the white media, because there's no real black media that exists other than some people on YouTube, and including myself, that talks about certain things like this. And where you referring to black males and some females as educated lames, really? You're already defeating the purpose of us trying to move forward and to uplift. How you want to continue to uplift people when people in your communities don't even feel uplifted by seeing that they can do the same things that other people can do that's been doing it better or being successful at doing it. Now, y'all worry about, well, this is an NFL player, he not dating no black women, he always met with white women. Yeah, I wonder why. That's the you're like, you worry about, well, he's taking money away from our community because he got the white women. Okay, there's an NFL player out here right now. I forgot his name. He had a reality show that was on for 2 years. And you can guess why he had the reality show on. Because he had so many damn kids they had support. And they were all black kids, by the way. He was married to one. I think he had like 6 kids with one. He had like 6 other kids with 2 or 3 other women. Yeah. Take a wild guess on why he's still struggling to keep make ends meet. Besides the fact that he, did some of that shit to himself. Let's be real. That's how we contradict ourselves too. I remember years ago, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to go to college for that, actually. And I remember my mom was telling me, like, you can't be an artist. Your artwork ain't that great. I mean, really, she told me that. She since denied that she ever said. She said she definitely told me that before. This was before I went in the military. She said that. I started doing art for about 20 some odd, almost 30 years. I stopped doing it. And I found out recently I can do that and animation, but that's another story. But I consider that a dream killer when you do that. It's what I wanted to do for a long time. It's ridiculous.